Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann. I'm Ann with Kyle. We sell real estate in downtown Chicago. We're with Baird and Warner's Gold Coast office right on Michigan Avenue. And we love coming to you every week to talk about real estate. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? How was your weekend?
When was that? It was actually good. It was a good weekend. It was, I'm cleaning my glass. How many pairs of eyeglasses do you have around the house?
Pardon?
How many pairs of eyeglasses do you have around the house?
Do I have around the house? 8.
I have at least 8. So tell me about your experience with St. Patrick's Day. I didn't do any St. Patrick's Day nonsense.
I didn't do any St. Patrick's Day nonsense either, but as you know, yeah, I'm wearing the green. As you know, I live right at ground zero. So we locked our front doors because all the revelers were outside and about. And there were crazies. I learned something I didn't know before. It's a good thing I've got a daughter who knows stuff. Evidently, these young people were taking these gallon jugs and they were putting in juice, cheap juice and Gatorade, and then they were throwing in the alcohol.
Yes.
And they were walking around, and then the policemen were taking those away from them. There was this picture on socials where it was a police car, and there were 12 of these big gallon jugs in these neon bright colors.
The weird thing is they were dumping them down the sewer. Where's that going to end up?
That's a good question.
I mean, be careful with your tap water, people.
Oh my gosh. It was crazy town. But they'd cleared out by 5 p.m. and it was just like nothing had ever happened. So
passed out by 5 p.m.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel bad. It was not the best weather this year for St. Patrick's Day.
I don't think that matters.
Not to them. No, you're right.
I don't think it matters at all. No, not at all.
It's a crazy town, that's for sure. So, Tom's working in town this week. So, we went to the Perilla Korean Steakhouse last night, which I'm convinced is like the 2020s version of Benihana was for when we were teenagers. Remember how exciting it was to go to Benihana? That was such okay. So yeah, it's the same kind of show thing.
So I've only been to Korean barbecue in, of all places, Paris.
Ooh.
I know. How weird is that? I went with French people because they were like, yeah, French food, whatever. But let's go Korean barbecue.
That's good. All right. Well, I suppose we should get this show on the road, folks.
There we go.
Okay. So the stats is going to be, which we always do first thing, it's going to be the shortest stats you've ever seen because we're middle of the month and I've already had 2 weeks of showing you everything. So I don't want to belabor the point.
I want to belabor this. Good, keep going.
I love stats, but yeah. Okay. So let me get rid of this and I already got rid of our names. So this is 16 days of March. Single family homes in the lakefront communities, 62, as you can see here, have hit the market new. 62 have gone under contract. So basically everything that's going online is selling and 37 closed. Why only 37? There must not have been that many that went under contract the last month. But the gray 29 is what we're going to be talking about all episode today. That is the under contracts. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
No, that's the off market. That's the private.
Oh. Yeah, that's the private. I said it. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, that's private. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And this is just a look at all the different ones. Okay. No need to go into details. Okay. Now attached since March 1st, 779 have hit the market as new. Of those, 637 have gone under contract and 434 have closed. 262 are on the private network. Okay, keep these numbers in mind, folks, because we're going to talk about them very soon. 215 private listings have hit the market since March 1 unattached. 215. And we've only got, what did I just show you? 779 total. Okay. Interest rates are inching up again. We're back over 6% according to Freddie Mac, and that's not a surprise. So that's what I've got for stats. We'll go into that later.
Let's go back. Let's go back to those charts, please.
You want to go back to the stats?
I want to go look at those charts and have our discussion about the craziness of private.
Oh, you want to do it now? Okay.
Just because we're going to talk more about the fight. Anne has done some great research into the fight between Zillow and Compass, but let's look at detached.
Yeah.
Why is there even one house on the private network in this market where there is such demand? Why is even one on the private network? Anne?
I'm trying to play devil's advocate because I'm with you. I don't understand why somebody would be on the private. Maybe a coming soon. Like
it's not ready.
It's not ready. Yes.
Meaning that they're still doing some work, but they want, if somebody is desperate, we'll let them in with an agent. We don't want people who don't have an agent to come in just because we don't have, it's not ready. Okay. You think 29? I don't think 29 are not ready.
That's almost half of what hit new. Think about it that way, right?
Yeah, 40%, certainly close to 40%. Here's also a thing. If the agent thinks your price is wackadoo, they might test the price on the private network, because what's on the private network does not show up as market time and the price disappears.
Right.
Your original attempt at a crazy town price disappears once it goes on the public network. What you did on the private network, it's like Vegas, stays in Vegas. There's right now, with what we are seeing in that pie chart, there is zero reason for there to be more than 5, thinking of the 5 that are still doing some work, to be on the private network.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this as we go through the Zillow Compass private network thing. But part of it too is, are you on the private network because you're allowing showings or because you're not allowing showings? Because that's the other thing, right? And we'll talk about
price and to do work.
Right.
Yeah. But here's also a thing. I would be very interested to know. So first of all, I've used private network. I absolutely use the private network when things are, I know it's going to sell fast, and it's going to sell fast at the top price, and my people just want it done in a very quiet way.
Wait a minute, you just contradicted yourself. Give me an example of when and how you use the private network.
So I have used the private network when we want to gin up attention, but I only am on for like a week or 5 days. I've used the private network when the market goes quiet over the holidays.
Okay, so quiet over the holidays. You wouldn't use it in this market, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't use it in this market at all, unless I thought the price was going to harm, the initial price was going to harm the overall marketing of it. If I thought that, let's say I have a property that's going to sell for $500,000 and my people want $700,000, I'm going to put it on the private network to show them no one is interested in $700,000. I'll market the hell out. I'll do what I'm allowed to do on the private network to gin up interest, but it will be to explain, to show that people are waiting for the market price.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you? When would you use it in this market with a house?
Not in this market. I wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
There's no, it's only, in my mind, it's only a nefarious purpose.
And I have to tell you, even if there's work being done, unless the work is like redoing the floors, I let people come in this market.
Absolutely. Well, let's move over to the Zillow Compass thing, because this is going to feed into the whole thing of hidden listings. So peeps, if you're not aware.
Did you take a look at which firms were doing the 29 private?
I did, and it wasn't just Compass. No.
Okay.
I had the same thought.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the Zillow Compass battle is all about public versus private listings. So background, for years, agents have had private pocket listings, kind of that, some of you may have even run into this where you're at an open house or something, and then the agent says, oh, but I know of this listing that's not on the market yet. Would you like to see it? Right? That's an example. And that's gone on for years. But the MLS has rules. If you have a listing, you are required to put it in the MLS within 24 hours or 48 hours. Anyway, put it in. And then it needs to be available to everyone. It's called cooperation. We've been doing it.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for years. And it is in the public's best interest, because when that agent at the open house says, oh, I have this listing over here, that listing over here is not getting the best marketing, right? It's kind of in the pocket on the side, blah, blah, blah. So that's background. Anything you want to say on this slide before we go forward to the
well, so clear cooperation was put into effect, 1, for fair housing reasons, 2, because they were trying to establish a common marketplace for real estate, and 3, because it has been shown over and over and over again to get the top price for sellers.
When everybody has access, when everybody sees it, then the market weighs in. It's just like a typical free market economy. It's like if you have a stock market and you don't give all the information out there, you're never going to have like the real numbers come to the fore.
And people won't trust the market if it's not a functioning market.
Yeah.
Right.
So Compass has been lately trying to say that they have some secret sauce that nobody else has, which is Baloneyville. But if you've listened to them, they will say, we have this special thing where we have your property on the private exclusive just for our people to start. And then we do the coming soon to the public. And then we do the big MLS launch. And that creates all this frenzy. And then you're going to get the highest price.
This is part of, people, just pay attention. This is part of a stock market. They're trying to appeal to the stock market because they're a publicly traded company. So they have to have things that make them seem different, better. We've cornered the market on these private listings. People have to come to us for this. We have market share. First of all, they do have a ton of agents, but we have control over all of these properties. So buy our stock. This is not to help buyers and sellers. This is to boost the share price of Compass. Compass's publicly traded entity. Yeah. This is not for buyers and sellers. This is for shareholders. Anyway,
just so you know, everybody, both Kyle and I do the coming soon and the public launch. That part everybody does, if they're good agents. Right. It's the private exclusive part that we have a problem with, and that's because it is not in the best interest of the seller.
I do. So, for example, Baird and Warner has, what do we call it, first look, where we're telling everybody, and we usually don't even have pictures. Heads up, this is coming. Right. But it's not, nobody says, oh, I want to make an offer right now, or I haven't had that happen yet. Right. But I let the business know that it's coming soon. But it's never, I do that before I'm even on the private network. You're supposed to do it, not before you're even on the private network, because you're just giving your colleagues a heads up. But it's not shown. And lately I haven't been going on the private network because of our market. We don't need to go on the private network.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Zillow is upset about this because they're all about clear cooperation, and they believe that they should have every listing out there. And their policy is if you have a listing, you have 1 day for it to go public. And if it doesn't go public in that 1 day, we're going to ban you. You won't ever get to.
Wait. So let's just go back because Zillow isn't a hero in this. Let's just be honest. Okay.
Right.
Zillow,
No, that's right. These are two nasty players. It is quite the soap opera.
There are no heroes here. No heroes here. Yeah. Zillow has, and I often find people are like, oh, I saw your listing on Zillow. I'm like, I don't have a listing on Zillow. I don't have a listing right now. What are you talking about? Zillow has so much bad data out there because it's just gathering everything. It doesn't have any way of checking stuff. It's just garbage data in large measure. So, and for a while, didn't have access to a certain feed that allowed it to. They're mad because Compass isn't allowing it access to a feed. It used to not even show privates. It now is showing privates because it has access to. Is it the IDX feed or is it a different feed? It's the IDX feed. But now MLS, our multiple listing service, MRED, makes me choose all sorts of boxes that I don't often completely understand.
I know, right?
And I now understand because I was like, why isn't this showing up on X? Whatever. Yeah. I was like, oh, because I didn't check this box. So now I have to check all these boxes so that it ends up everywhere. But when they're on this private Compass network, they're not checking that box. Go ahead.
Right.
Keep talking, but no heroes here.
Right.
But Zillow's in the right about this. Keep going.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about nationwide, and then I'll come back to Chicago. Because nationwide, if a company has a private listing, Compass or somebody else, and they don't put it on public, they don't make it available to Zillow will ban them, and that property doesn't get to be on Zillow at all during the life of its listing. That's how Zillow is retaliating against Compass, because Zillow wants to be the place where everybody goes to see listings and the public uses it as their MLS, so to speak. Okay. So they're in a court battle. It's, Zillow is claiming to be the good guy because they want clear cooperation for everyone, where, let's face it, they really want to be the one place where everybody goes and agents pay to be seen so that they make their money. So anyway, there's this antitrust lawsuit going on between the two, back and forth. Compass says Zillow's using its platform to dominate the listings. Compass says they're not playing fair and they're being a monopoly, blah, blah, blah. And there was recently a court ruling in favor of Zillow, but the trial is this July, where it goes back and forth. But this recent ruling, I don't know that we even need to really get into it. It's like.
So wait, goes back. So people, unfortunately, I in my past life was a lawyer. So they tried. Compass tried to get a preliminary injunction, which says for the life of this lawsuit, or for whatever period we put in place, Zillow cannot enforce this ban on us, because they brought a claim of they brought this antitrust counterclaim. And the answer was this key finding, failure to demonstrate likelihood of success on the merits, is brutal. It means they're likely to lose at trial. The judge has said, all things looking equal right now, Compass, you're going to lose. That had to be heart-stopping for Compass.
Yeah. Well,
keep going.
But when this thing started, I was just like a pro Zillow, everybody. I'm a clear cooperation fan.
I'm a clear cooperation fan.
But then evidently, and I don't have the papers in front of me, but there were some strategy papers internally with Zillow that basically said, we're going to play with the algorithm, because if you go to search Zillow, unless you put exactly that address in, you're going to get a feed of properties based on what they want you to see.
Yeah.
So Zillow said, supposedly, allegedly, because I don't have the papers, and we're not a court of law, but that they're going to play with that algorithm so that these companies who are messing with them get pushed down, and the companies that are playing with Zillow, who are their buddies, will get their properties pushed more to the top. So I don't know if they really are doing that, whether they did that. I have no information, but evidently these papers are floating. So to Kyle's point earlier, they're not good guys either. They're playing their game. Compass is playing their game. Meanwhile, Compass is snapping up other companies and becoming more and more a monopoly. And the big concern that you, Kyle, and I have is that it's the consumer that's getting screwed in this whole situation. So let's talk a minute about Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago is not experiencing this ban that the rest of the country is. And that's because in 2016, they implemented this thing called the private network. Remember earlier in our call today, or our show today, we were talking about how many properties were on that private network. Because we have a private network, Zillow's been able to not, well, like,
it's the IDX feed. It's for people who check the box. Your private network things show up off market on Zillow.
Now, that said, you and I were looking at a letter from MRED today saying that Zillow is reaching out and threatening, even though we have this private network and they're all on there, Zillow is still threatening companies that they're going to enforce this ban. But so far, they've been unable to do so. So again, we've talked about this.
So
you want to run through it?
What Compass is saying is, I want to do whatever my clients want, and clients want privacy. Hold on.
Did you mean to cough there?
No, yes, I did. I
it was well timed.
They want. So if you said to 98%, 99% of sellers, what's more important to you, price or privacy? Price. There is, I've always encountered sellers whose response is, oh, I want it this way, but I want the best price. And so seller choice and privacy is code for, I've sold my clients this nonsense that they'll still get the best price on the private network.
Right. And
I'd like to keep things for myself so that I can appeal to shareholders. Okay, so that's defending innovation. I do believe that there are times when it is a good solution to have the private network and put properties on the private network. There are goods, like to not incur market time during the slowest part of the year over the holidays. Great. Yeah, totally support it. Or if somebody is like, I want to sell, but I have 3 months where I am going to have to work from home because I've got to do X, Y, and Z really importantly, and I'm willing to have a couple of showings, but I don't want to do a lot of showings. I don't want to get an offer that wants me out in 3 weeks. That one might make sense to put on the private network.
Right.
There are scenarios, but Compass wants it to be a strategy for, in particular, high demand properties. Right.
Anyway. Now, Zillow is championing transparency. They claim they want equal access for all buyers and agents. And we get that. Private networks often create artificial scarcity, and transparency leads to better market outcomes and good fair housing, which we all agree. So and that's basically it in a nutshell.
They're willing to threaten companies to get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fair. Listen, keep going.
Well, so they say if Zillow prevails, universal transparency will become standard, private networks will decline, and there will be increased competition. That's what they say. And if Compass wins, there will be expansion of exclusive marketing strategies, greater fragmentation in silos. Then that's basically it. So, I mean, this is shaping the real estate landscape. Stakes are high, and we'll just see where it goes. But now I'd like to take a minute and go into, like, I was curious, like, what would I see if I went to a private listing on Zillow? So we're laughing. Kyle's laughing. So I took a particular listing here, and this is a private listing. And I'm going to move us like this so maybe you can see the cat on the counter.
Oh my God.
So if you looked up 1601 School on Zillow, you would see in the upper left corner, see that off market. That's because it's private network. So it's technically off market. So here's the problem I have with this. There are agents that are paying Zillow Flex leads to have their name under this. They're not the listing agent. So if you saw this property and wanted it and you didn't see that off market, you would call that agent. The agent would say, oh, that's not currently available. Let's go look at other properties. And then you become their client. So it's like trolling for clients, right? So I have a problem with that. The next thing is, this is what the property looks like on the private network.
Is the cat in that one too? I wonder if the off-market version is the previous listing.
No, they're both off market.
No. This is private. I wonder, the other one was called off market. I wonder if that was the previous sale. Yes, it was. Go back. Because this has a list price of $400,000 and that has a list price of $310, or was sold for $310 something.
Oh, really? Back. Okay.
Go back.
Well, let's just go forward. I believe you. All right. It says, please use showing time. They will allow showings, except that showings don't start until April 3rd. And I pulled this up last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one may not have been. Let's go to the next one then, if I screwed that up.
No, you didn't screw it up. I only figured this out just right now. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is a closed one.
Mm-hmm.
This is Willard, but it's showing as on the private network. And this is what it looks like on the private network. And this is where I really got bugged, because does your seller agree to do showings on their listing? Yes. It's supposedly going active March 13th. But I pulled this last week before March 13th. And so I said, okay, let me go to showing time and make an appointment. No instructions. I can't make an appointment. And then I went in the back doorway to see if I could make an appointment. And I got a note from the agent saying, we're not showing this property. So even though it says yes, so I don't know who he's showing it to.
Yes.
But this is monkey business.
Yeah.
Total monkey business.
Yes.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those aren't.
So they're not showing on. So from this, I'm not aware if they are actually showing on Zillow that it's on the private network. For example,
you know what it might be, are those check marks, Kyle, at the end. Like, does your seller want this on?
Yes. Well, but for example, Zenlist, I think feeds from the MLS.
Yes.
Does it have to get on IDX to hit Zenlist?
No. And that's why Zenlist works for our people. So for those of you that don't know, Zenlist,
if people screw up and don't put it on IDX feed, you still get it on Zenlist. Listen, Zenlist, I like Zenlist.
Everybody should be finding an agent and signing up for Zenlist. That's how to solve this problem, because you're exactly right, Kyle. So in fact, I had a client last week that found a property on Zenlist that was private. It was going to go public this past weekend, and we were able to plan, and then it went public on Friday. We got in on Friday, and we're one of who knows, 30 offers right now, but anyway. So then the last thing I was going to show you, oh, let me add this to the stage and go one more.
Ooh, price unknown.
Price unknown, yeah. So this one is active. This is private because I've been stalking this
How
listing.
is it active and off private?
It's because it's private network.
Oh, it's private. Okay.
Yeah. So here it is on the private network.
Hmm.
Home will not be shown while on the PLN, but we encourage you to email. But look, here it is, off market, price unknown.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I wonder if you look at a property that is actually not on the private network, like if you put my unit in there, it would show as off market. So I think it's not, Zillow's not in any way showing that this is coming or anything.
No, it doesn't say coming soon. No.
No, but even off market, it's just like if they put your unit on there, it would show it as off market.
Anyway, so that's that.
So we have listings, and both of my listings, one of them has just gone under contract, and the other one is new, and neither one use the private network in this market. So
261st. There you go.
Okay, so doesn't that kind of look smart? Doesn't that building look beautiful? Even though I took that, my photographer took that picture. Even in winter, that building looks beautiful.
You know what? That is the best photograph of that building I've ever seen. Well done.
I know. And imagine how pretty it'll be with leaves. So here we go. So, sorry, let's go back. It's on the market. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautifully updated corner unit that is offered for $650, and it is glorious. So, yowza. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the view on a regular day. Just regular day. And they're willing to sell furniture.
So this is still active, you said?
It's just, this is our first week. We're new.
You're new. Okay.
So beautiful. I mean, lake view from your bedroom. They turned the 3rd bedroom into my dream closet. I mean, beautiful. The 3rd bedroom is a den / guest room office. Okay. That's the view up close. I mean, just one of the views. And this, my seller wakes up in the morning early, and this is just the sunrise out of here. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's their gym, which is a nice gym.
That is a good
gym. This is a building that allows pets, a dog, a cat. You can have 1 dog, up to 2 cats, but 2 pets total. You can have birds. And the dog has to be 25 pounds, but as we all know, all rules are off when you've got a service animal.
No rentals in that building, correct?
There are no longer rentals allowed in the building. They have a lot of rentals in the building still because of people who bought before 2011 are grandfathered, but at some point that will dwindle to nothing. And that affects resale in a positive way and in a negative way, because this building has been very popular with investors. Yes. But it's not anymore.
Okay, cool.
Beautiful. And here's Sheridan. This one went under contract. Beautiful building. This is the one directly across the street and next to the lake from Plaza del Lago in Wilmette. So it was on the market for $995. It's got 21, and it looks, I mean, like a beach house. So I did look at these amenities: outdoor pool, sun deck, party room, grills, fitness center, strong community. That's really, because this tends, look at that. It normally breaks my heart when I have to put a property on with a lake view during the winter, but the lake, and there was ice in the winter, maybe I'll have another view. but look at it. Doesn't it look like a beach house?
It's lovely. Yeah.
It's been totally redone. Look at that lake. And people would just stand there like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful view, even in winter. I mean, look at that.
It's good. Yeah, the lake has a personality. It's fun to watch every day. It changes.
And I saw birds diving, looking for fish. I mean, it was great. This is the primary bedroom, primary bath. And my wonderful clients, they unfortunately got transferred, but everything was lovingly, attentively done in their rehab of this part of this condo. It's beautiful. Anyway, so there you have it.
On the other hand, I was going through units on the private market, and this $1 million property came up. Now, check out that picture. You got the pillow on the floor.
Yeah. Race car toys everywhere.
It goes from bad to worse.
I'll tell you what this is. There's a tenant in there.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to tidy up.
Yeah.
Thank you, tenant.
Seriously. Let's talk about that. I mean, they at least semi-made the bed.
No, they didn't. They barely made the bed at all.
Let's talk about this a minute. Okay, let's say you're a landlord and you're selling, and you've got a messy tenant like this. What do you do?
There's not a lot you can do.
Well, I've given my tenants incentives to clean up.
Send a cleaner over.
I'll give you a bonus if you get it in showing condition and keep it nice. I personally, as the agent, have brought beer over. Okay, guys, let's clean this up. And I've threatened them to say, your friends are going to see your home on the MLS. You may want to make it look.
Oh, okay. They don't. A lot of people just don't care.
Well, some do. And some actually are trying to submarine the sale, because if they can stay there as a tenant at a fair price, they'd rather do that. So, but the point is, if you're a landlord, maybe in this market, because things are so hot and selling, you can get away with it to a degree, but it still will not sell as well. I would encourage them to get the tenant out, have a couple months. It wouldn't even take, you could surgically stage the place.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, right. So you'd end up having 2 days vacant, but I bet you'd get an extra several tens of $1,000s.
No, because here's what happens. People are like, oh, I wanted, how easy is it to show? Not easy. I have a tenant.
Right.
And you get off the list. You're not on the list for somebody's tour. It's right. A real problem.
Well, and in fact, as soon as I get off our show today, I've got to cancel a showing at my mod listing. Oh, sorry, can't take your call right now. I'm on the air. Because the tenant is coming back and I cannot show it at 2:00 today. So, yeah. So it's frustrating.
Anyway, we'll be back. We're out of time, but we'll be back next week. Won't we?
I hope we are. I intend on being here. Yep. We're going to have some other great topic to talk about. And we'll probably be snarky yet again.
That's our vibe.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week on Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann.